Yeah. All right, guys, welcome to this first ever podcast that I'm doing. So here I have with me Rebecca Daughdrill from Florida, and she gonna answer your questions regarding skincare, skin health, and whatnot. So Rebecca, please introduce yourself to our audience first of all.
Hi, Damon. How are you?
I'm good.
Warm greetings from Florida.
Yeah.
So, my name is Rebecca Daughdrill. I'm a skin expert. I'm actually an esthetician and I'm paramedical trained with our brand DMK. I am the owner and I run Masked, which stands for Minimalist Aesthetic Skin Studios in Florida. So
Okay.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to answer all your amazing questions.
Yeah. All right. So we have a list of questions that was asked to me, that was asked to Rebecca's page through stories, right? So we're
Yes.
gonna be answering to you guys about those questions because I feel if uh, you have some questions related to skincare and health, she's the best person to answer. And because she's one of those professionals who do their homework before suggesting you anything, and she's actually one of the experts out there, not like your random YouTuber who can make videos on topics ranging from fitness to skincare to whatnot, right? So,
Correct.
so you should be asking. You should be asking from an actual expert, not a random YouTuber, right? So,
Correct.
yeah. All right. So, without wasting any time, let's start with the first question. I'll give you the first question. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I got from a girl who is 22-year old. She
Uh-huh.
DM'd me when I posted your story. She asked me, and I know most of the people want to know this. Her question is how to get clear skin.
So that was one of the number one questions that I got is clear skin. And so I'm assuming that this individual means no acne. And that is a process that has to start off with a tri-tier, meaning that you want to work with your nutrition, protection, maintaining, and then using some better products. We're seeing an increase of acne in Indian population or Indian skin. And the
Mhm.
problem with acne for Indian skin is that you scar very easily because you actually have the most fragile skin. Therefore, we are seeing a lot of problems with that. Also, the diet has changed. And so now I'm also noticing that there's a lot of fast food. And that also means gut issues. If you have gut issues, you will develop acne. And then also, you live in a very warm climate and you have to think about hydration. Most people with acne problems, it's like I said, it's a tier problem. It's not one thing that you do. But the one thing that you can start to do is look at what you're using on your skin. Do not buy it on Amazon or anything online. Of course, now with COVID, we have to do a lot more online. But ask your esthetician what type of products I can use and have them send it or mail it to you. So
Mhm.
it's a very in-depth question and answer. It's more that we can also talk about it more, Damon, if you
Yeah,
want to,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it is
yeah.
a very
So
big problem.
yeah, so I mean, so let's not talk about products here as of now. Let's
Right.
just talk about some basic things people can do to get a clear skin. Like clear skin can mean no acne or just a better looking face, right? What they can do for that.
So what you want to make sure is when you want to clear up your acne, you have to actually take a look and see what type of skin type you have. Are you oily or are you dry? It is that important. Then you wash your skin accordingly every day and every night. Make sure you have a good cleanser, something that doesn't have sulfate, something that's going to do its job. You also want to make sure that you have some salicylic acid in there, especially if you have a really bad acne skincare. You want to make sure that it goes in there and that it actually cleanses it. Then you have to protect it. When you're working on changing your skin, you have to then make sure you have a good moisturizer and you have to wear sunscreen. I cannot stress the importance. And if you can, if you have bad acne or if you have acne that bothers you, I cannot stress the importance of do not extract when it's not ready. If it takes a lot of pressure for you to actually remove your blemish, your acne, it's not ready. You want to make sure you have enough water in your skin. Mist your skin and don't touch your skin with your hands.
So we have another line of products which I see usually. Okay, one ingredient that you mentioned is salicylic acid, right? Right.
Yeah.
So if that is in the product, does that mean the product should be good, or is that an expensive ingredient which is used in good quality products?
So anything that you buy online or over the counter does not have active ingredients, meaning that it doesn't penetrate your skin. Salicylic acid is a very, very large acid form. It goes into the skin and it really wreaks havoc on especially those with acne, that severe vulgaris acne that we want to use that. But to answer your question, you do not want to buy any salicylic acids or any acids, glycolic or anything like that in products that are over the counter, because they're not allowed to penetrate your skin. So it sits on your skin and it burns your skin. And that's a problem, especially with Indian skin.
So you talked about hyaluronic acid, right? If I'm not
I
wrong.
have talked about hyaluronic, yeah, and I've talked to you about the hyaluronic acid.
Yeah, you talked to me about that in a phone call, and you just talked about that also, right? So
yeah, so hyaluronic
yeah,
acid came onto the market really strongly about a year ago, and everybody wanted to
yeah.
use it, right?
Everybody's making videos about that, how it's a secret ingredient, how they can,
Right.
it's a magical ingredient, right? And even I wanted to purchase it by seeing those videos, but you told me that I don't need it, right?
No, you don't need it because the type of skin that you have is different. But I would like to send out a little bit of a warning with hyaluronic acid. Even though hyaluronic acid is important and it has been around, the overuse of it can actually cause more damage to your skin. And we are seeing fatigue in skin, or people that are using hyaluronic acid, poor quality and too
Uh-huh.
much. Yeah.
It's written over there. I can see a product of hyaluronic acid here in India, and it's written non-comedogenic,
Yeah.
comedogenic,
Yes.
non-comedogenic, fragrance-free, professional. So when you say excess, what do you mean by that? Like, how much is excess?
Right. So there's two different things that I'd like to keep in mind here with your audience. Number one is things that are over the counter, which you can buy like in Amazon or when you go into the store and what have you. And then there's
Yeah,
medical, cosmeceutical grade. Those are
yeah,
two different types of products. One is it cannot penetrate the skin. That's what you get when you go into the store and buy a Neutrogena or a CeraVe or
yeah,
whatever you have in India. And then
yeah.
there are things that your dermatologist or your esthetician has that you have to buy through them because it's medical. So with that being said, one can penetrate, one cannot. So the one that cannot, you can use as much as you want to and put on your skin. It's not going to do any changes. It's not going to make any changes.
Uh-huh.
But what you do is when you buy a medical product, you need only one little a little drop, a pea size, and that's enough for your whole skin because it is active. It is highly active. But when you use too much of a product and you smear it on, the skin can only take so much, right? And
Yeah.
when it's on the top levels and it doesn't go in to change your skin, it sits on top of your skin and really does damage. So if you're going to buy acids, if you're going to buy things that are really good for you, like an ingredient like hyaluronic acid or salicylic acid or what have you, buy a medical grade. It's a
Uh-huh.
little bit more expensive, but you only use very small amounts of it because it goes deeper into your skin.
Okay, let's move on to our other questions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so another question is from another girl who asked me. She is like 26-year-old, and she said how to get rid of hair on face.
So there's a lot of things that, well, no, that's a real problem for a lot of women. We want to be smooth and we want to look attractive. And, women and mustaches, it's not really
Yeah.
a fad. So for women, you want to make sure, number one, if you have excess hair, make sure that you rule out your medical condition. You can have polyovarian cystic syndrome and or other underlying hormonal imbalances. And that's what we're seeing in regards to hair growth in women. Once that is said and done, make sure that you have clarified with your doctor about what your if you have a hormonal imbalance or what have you. Then moving forward, there are many different ways that you can remove hair. Some is permanent, some is semi-permanent. Semi-permanent would be your laser, would be your waxes, would be shaving, right? Those are semi-permanent. They'll come back, right? Be
Uh-huh.
careful with laser because laser does burn. But the only permanent that we know that has been improved is electrolysis. And that is a needle, a thermic needle that goes into your hair shaft and it actually kills the hair root. That's the only way you're going to actually get rid of that permanently.
Okay, so even laser is not permanent. They tell you to have some sittings, like 4 or 5 sittings, and it will be gone forever. So,
No,
so
no.
those are misleading advertisement which I see on newspaper every day.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It will reduce the amount of hair, but it will come back. It's not classified as permanent as of
Okay,
yet.
so those must be misleading advertisement which we generally see on newspaper. They have written that okay, you have to
Yeah,
just go for 5 appointments and it's gone forever. So these are
right.
misleading, right?
Yeah, I would say that is very misleading because it's not classified as permanent yet. It will come
Uh,
back.
and again, you talked about wax, right? So
Yeah.
another question which came in my mind, which people have, is if they wax something, does that happen that the hair over there grows more strong, more fast, or more
It's a myth.
strong than? It's a
Right.
myth.
That's a myth. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
myth. What happens is the only thing that you have to keep in mind with waxing that I'd like to just make point is once you wax things, the hair grows softer and less because you're actually removing it over and over and over again with the bulb. You can actually experience more ingrown hairs from waxing. So if you start your waxing regimen, make sure you have a good exfoliant at home. Make sure you're brushing your skin. Make sure that you have some form of a salicylic acid in your wash so that you prevent ingrown hairs.
Okay. So another question came from a girl who is 24-year old. She asked me how to start caring for skin in 20s so that it remains young in later age. The girl here is 24-year old, and she asked that question. I think I asked you the same, right? Like
Yes.
how can men take care for skin? So will that be same for both men and women first of all?
Well, there are some principles that are going to be the same for both men and women. First of all,
Yeah.
kudos to this 24-year-old to actually be ahead of her time because she's in a great age group to start working on anti-aging or age preventative. We don't want to say anti-aging because you can't stop aging, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good for her. That's wonderful. You want to start all anti-aging or age preventative measures when you're 25 and up. You want to start working on that.
Okay.
So there are some principles that are the same for both men and women.
So she's
Um,
24. Can she start it now or she has to wait one
yes,
more year?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
So for the one thing that I can just say in regards to age preventative for both men and female is actually prevention. Prevention, prevention, prevention. Stay out of the sun, use sunblock or sunscreen, excuse me. Make sure that you're taking care of your skins, increase your antioxidants, because,
Yeah.
because prevention is better than actually trying to take care of a condition that's already in place. So that you can do. Two, start getting great facials. Start getting services. Make sure that you cleanse your skin, that you infuse your skin, that you take care of your skin, and you hydrate your skin. And then, so use better products, take care of your skin, cleanse it. Don't subject your skin to a lot of stressors like sun, stress, smoke, right? Those are the three S's that we
Yeah.
want to
Cover
stay
your
away.
face in pollution. If you are out there in pollution, cover your face. If
Well, make sure that you have products that protect it for you. Make sure you
uh-huh.
wear a hat or sunscreen.
Yeah.
And then have a good antioxidant regimen at home when you come back home from the night because you want to make sure you cleanse your skin and you don't sleep in dirty skin and that you feed your skin at night. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're
When you say antioxidant, you mean in terms of nutrition, right?
Yeah, so I can't speak for nutritional support because I'm not a nutritionist.
Yeah.
But I can say that you want to use that in your skincare. Your beta-glucans that we have in DMK, but your A's, your E's, your C's, your niacins, or your B vitamins, all of those things you can actually put in your skincare, and you can use that, and that will actually have a great effect on maintaining and protecting your skin for a long time.
So some creams with vitamin C in it, you mean?
Well, vitamin C should always be separate because it is a volatile. It's the most volatile vitamin that we have, and it has to be on its own, and it has to be cared for very differently than others. But you can definitely have your retinols, your vitamin K's, all of that is in creams. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So first is prevention, like use sunscreen and cleanse it. And
Yeah.
when you say cleanse, what is the right way to cleanse? We just wash our face with a face wash, and for that we mean cleanse, right? What
Well,
extra? Yeah. What extra
yeah.
you would you like to
Cleansing
tell?
is right. So cleansing is just the idea that you actually remove the surfactants on top of your skin, making sure you have clean skin when you leave, or when you go to bed, or before you put any products on. You want to minimize hand contact on your face, on your skin. So I always say, if you have a brush, or if you have a machine that can help you do that, that's great. So you want to make sure you actually foam it up, make it nice, put it on there, and you don't need that much. You need only a pea size. But of course, we're talking medical grade now, right? We're
Yeah.
talking better quality. And then you want to make sure that you actually wash your neck, your face, and your décolleté. And you want to make sure you get into that habit. So not as much hands. Try to see if you can get a brush, or a mechanical brush or a fan brush. And then you want to actually just wash it off with water, but don't dry your skin with the towel. Let it air dry.
So with brush you mean this? Like you recommended me this?
Yeah, like that. Exactly. One of those things there. If you have good oily skin and you have some good thickness to your skin, that's
Uh-huh.
amazing. If you have thinner skin, a little bit more fragile, you want to use like a fan brush that you just kind of like whip the cleanser up.
So this, so I, guys, this I bought for around 800 to 1,000 rupees, and I'll put the link in description. Like, so this can be used, like we apply soap on face, then we can use this, or just
Yeah,
with
you want
water.
to right. You want to wet it with water, and then you want to go ahead, and you always want to make sure that you brush outwards towards your lymph. You want to make sure
Uh,
that you actually do that.
Outwards.
Yeah, and not too hard. Don't put too much pressure. But remember, you have to have thicker skin, a little bit thicker and a little bit oilier for that type of brushing, because if you have very fragile skin, you can do some more damage to it.
Okay, skin has to be oily, yeah, or normal.
Yeah, a little oily, a little dirtier can handle that brush. Because that's like, I could not use that brush.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
For
So,
men, that's a great one.
okay, so that another thing that we hear about is that scrubber. So that scrubber also falls in that cleanse category. Scrubber people use on face.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of scrubbers. I'm not a big fan of those types of abrasive ingredients. Use it on your body, just don't use it on your skin, or excuse me, your face. And also, because Indian skin is very fragile, I'd be very scared to actually hyperpigment it, because you can cause a lot of damage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you should be careful with those uh,
Yeah, yeah,
scrubbers.
yeah, not for Indian skin or South Asian skin. That's not something that I would do.
Say once a week or once in 10 days. I'm sure a lot of ladies would love to hear this if they can use like once a week or in 10 days.
Are you talking about exfoliation?
Yeah, the exfoliation with
So exfoliation is really important to help any kind of product penetration and the youthfulness of skin. You want to actually exfoliate, but here's where the problem lies.
Mhm.
The problem is, a lot of people use the incorrect exfoliation and too much or too little. So when you get your skin and have a skin analysis, your esthetician is going to say what type of exfoliation is good for you, and how much. Some people need 3 times a week. Some people need one. Who knows? Until you get to see the skin. So if you're using a very, very harsh pumice or a scrub, I would highly advise that you actually stop and find something else. Use the exfoliation on your feet or your elbows, or larger parts of
Okay,
your body.
those scrubbers can are better to be used over these parts.
Yeah, it's just too harsh for your skin.
Okay, so we were talking about this was a question from a 24-year-old girl, and you were talking about the different. So these were the similarities that male and females can do. So what a difference if my male audience wants to do that for their skin, what they can do? What
So
are
for
extra
men,
they need to do?
right. So
Or
for
they need to
men,
do less? Or they need to do less or more?
what do you mean?
Like in terms of taking care of skin, do they need to take care of their skin more than the women? Or they have to do it less?
Well, no, so that's interesting. So for men, what I've noticed for men that really want to do anti-aging and the men clientele that I have, they have not cared for their skin in their youth. They didn't use sunscreen. They were out in the sun. They worked hard labor. They were young and they were out in the fields, or they were out working with their hands. And when they became older and have now office jobs, they have all this sun damage, or they have all this problems with their skin. So for men, behavior is the most important thing, meaning that it has to be simple, it can't be too many products, and it has to be super simple, to the point, no deviation. For men, skin behavior is more important. For women, I can say, oh, you need to have A, B, C, and D, and then you can do this with your skin, and it's easier. Women love to pamper their skin,
Yeah.
most women.
Yeah.
But for men, the easiest way for me is to say to men, get a cleanser, get an exfoliant, get a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. Keep the cleanser in the shower, because I know then you're going to use it.
Yeah.
And then and then the exfoliant in the shower, and then use your moisturizer when you leave with sunscreen. And then I actually set them up 2 times a month. They come and they get their face cleansed.
Like
And if
like
you're working,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
if you're working out in like outside, make sure, if you don't want to tan, make sure you use sunscreen and protective gear, right? And if you're working outside, you're going to have to cleanse your skin more, because you're going to get dirty more. And that is also an acne issue as well.
Okay.
It's okay.
So
Yeah.
just to have an idea, so can you tell about skin type just by looking through a picture or a video, or you have to a person has to manually see you?
No, we're actually experiencing that now with COVID in regards to social distancing. So as you know, I have video consultation. And what happens is that we actually go and look at the skin, and then I'll ask you, can you touch your skin? Is it oily? Does it have a bounce? And I'll actually just go ahead and coach you on what I need to see, and just ask you a few questions. Of
Hmm.
course, it's always good to have the face right in front of you, and you can touch and feel and see. But there are tools that we can kind of actively and accurately assess skin.
Okay. So as of now, can you tell just by looking, do I have a dry skin, oily skin, or combination skin?
So there's a lot of different things. There's not a combination skin type, and there's not a sensitive type combination. We don't believe in that. It just means a reactive skin, and that if you have combination skin, it just tells me that you have skin barrier issues. Most definitely, we do know that you are of Indian descent, so we know that as a skin type, and you would actually be a Fitzpatrick accordingly to that. We also can see that you do have some acne, right? You have some breakouts in your T-zone area. And for those that are Sikhs that have turban wear, you can also get a lot of
Yeah.
contact,
Color
yeah,
discoloration.
color and all of that. So that's also a part of your skin analysis, because that's part of what's going to differentiate. So there is some acne in your T-zone, and that just tells me that your oil, you produce your oil, but you need a little bit more water and a little bit more better of a cleanser to go in there and cleanse that up for you. You also wear a beard, so that half of underneath here is protected. So knowing that, you will actually not have the same skin conditions as you would underneath here as you would here, right? Because this is protected.
Okay.
But for you, overall, it looks great. I don't see any discoloration. Of course, if you do have, according to that turban and what have you, you would then tell me if there's any kind of spot or pigmentation, if you're on any medication, how much time you spend in the sun. What are your current concerns? Is acne a problem? How do you take care of
No,
that?
I the only problem I as of now has is this. I get flakes in winter or in winter season. Like
Right.
in my beard, I'll have flakes. I think most of the people with beard have this issue of
Right.
flakes. So if
Right.
I'm having flakes, or in simple terms, dandruff, so does that mean my skin is dry, or it can be both?
It can be both. It can be that, well, you can have flaky skin and have oily skin. It just is,
Uh-huh.
or you can have psoriasis or eczema. You can
Uh-huh.
have a lot of different things going on. So again, it how you address it. So for some folks that have psoriasis or some redness and flaky skin, we use probiotic called environment through DMK to really help the microbe, or it's a microbe to help actually those three layers. And I wrote about that in my blog. For those that have flaky skin and what have you, you are super dry and you have to change your skincare regimen as the season goes. Doesn't mean that the same cleanser you use in the summer is going to be the best cleanser that you use in the winter.
Got
So,
it. So basically, it's a technical thing which a professional, if you visit a professional, see a professional, he can tell you better, he or she can tell you better that rather than
absolutely.
you, googling your symptoms. Okay, I have this. What should
Right.
I? They will, otherwise some products will pop up. Use this for that, or YouTube
Yeah.
videos. Use this for this. Use this for this. Right? And that's
Right.
not the best way to do it. Right?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, treat us as a professional. That's what we do. We do your
Yeah.
skin and we
Definitely.
make sure that you look good. So, yeah.
Just like people
Um,
start to find I can relate, like people try to find things for themselves to build muscle, to this and that, and they land up on a supplements page which they actually do not need in their condition, right?
right. Right. Right.
That supplement may be good, but they don't need it,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So guys, I just want to say that you should not be purchasing things by yourself. You should always be going to a dermatologist or an esthetician,
Yeah.
who can
Yeah.
guide you about your skin. So yeah,
Right.
you
Right.
you were talking about blog that you write. So where people can read that?
So it's going to be on my website, www.maskedinc, that's
Uh-huh.
MASKDINC.com. And in there
Uh-huh.
is actually a blog site that you can go in and you can read what I've written. Yeah.
Okay. Great, 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 great.
So can I just say for basics, and especially for the Indian market, that we're seeing a great surge of a lot of needs. The principle is this: find an esthetician that's good at what they do. Make sure that they are reputable. Make sure that they are trained. Make sure that they have, that they know what they're talking about, that they're certified. Make sure that in your budget that you're looking into at least going there once a month, right? You want to go there once a month, and there's a reason for that. Principle: make sure that what you're using on your skin is something that your esthetician recommends, or your dermatologist. If you want to see a change in your skin, you're going to have to change your behavior, and that also means you're going to have to pay for services.
Yeah,
As India becomes more and more global, and we're seeing a lot of businessmen coming out of India, we're seeing a lot of commerce in and from India. Having great skin is also very important for the professional man and woman. So this is the time for you guys to really, really, really take advantage of basic principle skincare. Anyone and everyone can have great skin. The question is, are you willing to actually do the work and what it takes to get great skin?
yeah,
And being cheap is just not appropriate with skin. You're going to invest in a long term with skin because it's going to represent you for a lifetime. You are going to die
definitely.
in your skin. So I'm telling you, take care of your skin, follow the principles. We can talk about more about principles in upcoming videos,
Yeah,
but those are
definitely.
the principles.
Yeah, same I tell people when it comes to using some kind of product or supplements for their health. I tell them to go for the best one. So these have the better ingredients. Go for this, and not go for cheap one, right? Because cheap may be of cheap quality. Who knows? Yeah, so that's what I tell people all the time. Like, go for the best product and don't try to save some money
Right.
to inferior product, right? You're gonna put that in your body. So why you are taking chances and buying inferior quality products just to save few bucks, right? The same you said in terms of what you are applying on your skin, right? So
Right.
that's about it, guys. I think that's enough for today. So if you have any questions regarding skincare or whatever queries regarding skin, any problem, just let us know in comment section below, and we'll make sure we'll cover that again. If we do the podcast again, we're gonna cover that up, and that's it. Okay, any
Come
final
on,
notes?
I had a blast.
Yeah, same here. Bye. That was my
Bye.
podcast. So I learned a lot. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. Bye bye from India. Enjoy your lockdown.